What's up, Cities 2 fanatics? Welcome back to Dev Talks. It's been a hot minute, but we're back, we're kicking it. We are going to complete the series. Today, we are going to watch, react, and break down the Dev Diary on the Citizen Simulation and Lifepath. My name is Flyvox, and I am here with Joy Builds Cities. Joy, I'm excited. I'm glad we're back. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling so great, and I just want to let all our viewers know that have been watching all the way along with us is that neither Fly and I have watched these last 3 Dev Diaries yet, so this will be our genuine reaction to the video, even though, full disclosure, as most of you know, we both had a chance to play the game. But we did stay true, and we have not watched any of the videos, so this will be a genuine reaction to what we're seeing, even though we've already experienced it.
Indeed, and I can't wait. So let's go right ahead.
You might think that city building is all about glass and steel, bricks and mortar, tarmac, smokestacks, and iron tracks. But it's also about joy and laughter.
About joy.
Sadness and tears.
Oh.
Joy and
Struggles,
rain.
triumphs, even love. That's because city building is about people. While the behavior of your city citizens is rooted in deep simulation, they aren't guided by ones and zeros. They follow very real human impulses on their life path.
Ooh.
A life path encompasses major events that shape their lives. It starts with being born in or moving to your city. Everything after that, from their first day of school to college graduation, their first big promotion to retirement, their nervous first date to tying the knot, is just another step on their life path.
Oh, cute.
Most days will be uneventful. Citizens will follow a routine of attending school, working, and spending free time with friends and family. But like the rest of us, they'll have good days and bad. Citizens can fall ill, suffer accidents, lose their job and become homeless, commit crimes and
I
face
don't
the
want any
consequences.
homelessness.
No.
On the flip side, citizens reap the benefits when your city thrives.
Wow.
Look at that.
That's cool.
They're chilling on the
Citizens
grass.
contribute as they get older.
I actually haven't seen that.
until it's their time to line up at heaven's pearly gates.
Oh my
Aw.
God.
There's something
So
you can actually
sad.
measure in Cities Skylines too. It's a score that tallies an individual's health and well-being. You can track happiness on each citizen's information panel.
That's pretty
View
cool.
the panel
That
for
is
their
pretty
household
cool.
to learn what's contributing or detracting.
Oh
from their
my God,
collective
look at all the
happiness.
information.
Get the basics right, and citizens will basically be happy. Ensure they have a reliable electricity supply, clean water, decent plumbing, and regular garbage collection.
It's our cute little garbage
Minimize
truck.
Yeah.
ground, air, and noise pollution. Keep a lid on crime so citizens feel safe. High-speed internet is pretty much a must-have, and so is a suitable home. Families need space, so they'll benefit from
yeah, I
living
guess
in
I should
larger
add
homes
that.
in low-density areas
I
where kids
forgot
can roam freely. Small
already.
apartments are best for singles and students who want low rents in busy areas where they can go out and socialize. Healthcare is non-negotiable. Without it, citizens can die from illness and injuries. Even with good sanitation and low pollution, citizens need medical facilities near enough to travel on their own steam or by ambulance for routine care.
Yeah.
Oh.
This is especially important for your city's elderly population, whose health won't always be tip-top. Seniors are actually in the last of the 4 life stages your citizens will experience. They might even live in a multi-generational home with citizens in the other life stages, including children, teens, and adults.
That's
And
very
look
cool.
out for
Yeah.
4-legged family members too. Keep your finger on the
Aw, the
pulse of what's happening with
puppers.
your citizens by viewing their life path journal.
Oh, this is
It
amazing.
records everything that happens to
I
them
do
from the
love
moment you
this.
click
I do
follow.
love this. So cool.
It'll show you personal details, their happiness score, and their chirper feed. Oh, and one more thing.
I like that you can
Chirper
like
is
things on the
back.
Chirper
Yes.
feed too.
Expanded and better integrated. Chirper
There we
now
go,
gives
the best
citizens a
feature for
voice.
me.
They'll talk about what's
Chirper.
going on in their
Yeah.
lives
Chirper
and
is
what's
back.
happening in the city. If their chirps get likes, you know just how important that topic is to them and other citizens. This can be helpful when
cool.
they chirp to complain about underperforming
That
city
is
services
really cool,
and
yeah.
applaud their excellent work. When it comes to the health, well-being, and happiness of your citizens, think quality, not quantity. By creating places, spaces, and experiences that enrich their lives, you'll discover what
I
city
love
building
that.
is all about.
I'm all about it.
Let's go. Okay, that was super, super cool. As per usual, we got to break it down. Okay, so the citizens, of course, are the residents that occupy residential buildings. They build the workforce in the industry or the office, and they do shopping in commercial, of course. So it's basically the same as Cities 1, and of course the citizens want to be happy. That means if your services are good, if you have good coverage, that means the citizens will be happy. And the other way around, if the services are bad, then you will get unhappy citizens, which of course we do not want.
No, because that means in City Skylines 2, there's actually homelessness. And
Right.
like that's a new thing that we haven't had to deal with. Yeah, I don't want anyone to not have a home. That would make me really sad. Like I build cities for people to enjoy. I don't want them to not be able to have a place to live. So yeah, you really have to like pay attention to all of that stuff if you want to keep your citizens healthy and happy. So yeah,
I
it's
feel the
pretty
same.
cool though.
Right. I feel the same about the homelessness, and I feel that, like, I feel kind of sad that we actually get crime and it's that people can go to jail. I mean, it's good that there's a jail for the criminals, but to be in that state to have like criminals, and that's actually interesting because it said in the PDF that committing crimes is like one of the rare activities. Like your citizens, they're always active, they're always up to something. If it's going to work, going to school, shopping, they're sleeping or they're studying. And there are these rare activities such as committing crimes. An activity can be fleeing the crime scenes or seeking medical treatment or moving away. But with the crimes, I thought that's kind of sad. Because yeah, I don't really want that in the city, but I guess it's a part of the game. It's a part of life, and that's what we have. So yeah. Also, I found it very interesting because we did see pets in the video, and it said in the PDF. What I found super interesting too, that the pet owners are just chosen randomly, and that the pets are purely cosmetic. Like they have no effect on the city, on the household. But I just think it's a cute little detail that we have the pets now as well. Super cool.
Yeah. And, to be honest, like, if we're going to have citizens that commit crimes and go to jail, then having a dog should just make you happier. Like, it's kind of unfair. Like, you should have both.
That's so true, though. Right.
But yeah, it is a game. And I think for me, and I think for a lot of people, like, we like to make places that aren't like totally realistic, like that are utopian, that are like what we'd like to actually see in the world. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm not really psyched about the fact that, people commit crimes and they go to jail. But, it is a game. And so, it's not that serious.
Exactly. Also in the video, they mentioned the happiness, of course, happy citizens leads to a thriving city. And it was interesting to me that in the PDF, it also said that happiness is actually divided into well-being and health. And the well-being is like the citizen's mental state, the sense of safety. As it mentioned in the video, you need electricity, clean water, your sewage, garbage, the pollution, noise pollution, ground pollution, the basic needs as we did have in Cities Skylines 1. And for the safety, of course, it's police and fire, but also they need suitable sized apartment buildings to fit their needs, which is interesting. Like you also have to take that into account. And of course, like consuming goods, that also positively affects the well-being.
Yeah, it makes sense. You want to have a place that is safe to live, and you need to have good snacks. The basics.
100%, yeah.
The other thing is that the health, of course, is affected by the availability of the healthcare that we provide them. So if, they don't have access to healthcare, of course, that's going to negatively affect their lives as it would in real life. And then same with like pollution. So again, we had to deal with that in City Skylines 1 in a different way. I do like how the pollution is handled in this game. So I really appreciate how they've gone about approaching that. And, just like in Cities Skylines 1, it can make people sick for sure. But I do like that and we all saw this on the videos on the 8th that we got to see. I saw in a lot of videos that creators were talking about the wind affects the pollution. So really, like, where you put your buildings matter the same way it did in Cities Skylines 1, but in a different way.
Yeah.
And then also like sewer and garbage, all of that stuff. Like if you don't have enough of it for your citizens, it will affect them negatively and therefore hurt the overall success of your city, and
Right.
therefore hurt the overall success of your city.
Right. I also find it very interesting, since we're talking about health now. There's age groups in the game. We have 4 age groups with children, teens, adults, and seniors. And I just think it's interesting that there's a small health bonus for children and teens while the health decreases for seniors. It's like, again, what we said many times before, the realism in this game is really overwhelming at times for me, because it's just they thought about so many little details that are actually things in real life that are now implemented in the game, and I think it's just great, but it's also overwhelming. I think is a good word for that.
Is the right word. Yeah, for sure. No, totally. And I also like that even how the citizens go about, spending their money. We even saw, like we learned with how they choose to park or take public transit. All that is like also tied to their age, which I think is really interesting. So in the PDF, it talked about buying goods, so that teenagers would rather buy electronics, and senior would prefer to spend their money in financial goods, i.e. investments and things like that,
Right.
which, makes sense. So I did like that everything is much more detailed to where the citizen is in their life path, which I think makes a lot of sense. Again, what you just said, like, it's very realistic.
Yeah, 100%. And I just love the fact, like, my favorite feature from this Dev Diary is probably the journal, the life path journal of the citizens. Because you can click on a citizen and you can hit that follow button and you will follow the life path of that citizen. That is super cool. You can even see their social media feed in air quotes, because you can see the chirps. And yes, Chirper is back. My personal highlight as well in the entire game. I'm a big fan. But I love that life path journal. It's just super cool to follow around the citizens and like really follow them through their events. I thought that's like a neat little feature that they have in the game.
Yeah, totally. And I'm really excited to watch other creators make videos, because I can really see how the life path and the life path journal can be a big addition in storytelling in the game, and that's very exciting to me, like as a viewer, as a fan of watching Cities Skylines. So I think there's lots of fun stuff to come for sure. The other thing that I really like too is the happiness of the employees will affect the company that hired them, their efficiency. So I do like that, because that is not something that I would say is really realistic. I think most companies are really focused on their bottom line. So I like that, like in this case at least, things feel right as rain. Like your employees should be happy at all times.
Yeah, exactly. And quickly circling back to the homelessness, which we both are not too fond of, but companies, since we just talked about companies, the workplace, they can expand or even shrink the workforce depending on if they have to save the wage costs, right? If their business is not doing good, they will let people go and they will become, unemployed first, but the next step could be that they will lose their home and become homeless, of course, because of that, because of them losing the job.
The other thing another thing I don't really like in the game is that citizens with low well-being are more likely to become criminals, which I just don't like the correlation there with that. But it's interesting because the criminals, I guess, are smart. They will select buildings that aren't covered well by your police stations. So, I don't
Right.
know. It's a weird thing to have in a game. I'll say that. But like I said, it's just a game. So.
Yeah, it is. It's very interesting too that the citizens of that targeted crime, I read in the PDF that they also suffer from a temporary loss of well-being. Like they're being hit by a criminal in their house, and it's like, the well-being goes down. I don't know that mechanic.
Makes sense.
It makes sense. It's like so super realistic, right? Also,
Yeah.
the criminals, as soon as the crime happens, they apparently trigger an alarm that goes off and a police car is dispatched, but not right away. It takes a bit of time, and so it's possible that the police car will catch the criminal red-handed and they will get busted and go to jail. But it's also possible that the criminal can escape, can make a run for it, and then they're free to commit a crime another day, which, is kind of scary. It's kind of scary. So hopefully the police will be dispatched really, really quickly.
Well, my hope is that if you build a good enough city and if everyone is happy and has a good sense of well-being, they won't have a reason to need to commit a crime. So
Right.
hopefully, depending on what type of city you want to build and what your goals are with the enjoyment of playing a game, it is a game. I think it's also, I keep saying it's just a game, it's not that serious, but they've made this game so realistic. It's kind of hard not to kind of point these things out when we come across them in these Dev Diaries, which we have a few times. So,
Right.
yeah, it's a game, but it's also a very realistic game, and there are some things, that might bother you. So, like we just don't like the homelessness thing. So, anyways, or the crime thing. But
Yeah, something a bit more positive. Leisure. The citizens, they do need leisure, and that affects their well-being, of course. And when the leisure decreases, they will seek to increases with attractions, with park. They go to locations, leisure. They go based on the amount of leisure and how quickly they can gain that leisure, which I thought was very interesting. I'm not sure if that was in Cities 1, so I think that's kind of new, but they also, of course, take that path finding cost also into account when going to a destination that they seek the leisure to boost their well-being. I thought that was kind of cool as well. And that the city's attractiveness value determines how many tourists are drawn to the city. It's also cool. You can increase that value by building parks and, of course, various other attractions such as landmarks. And that will, of course, draw in even more tourists into your city.
yeah, that's really cool. And I like that city recreation includes indoor and outdoor recreation possibilities, i.e., I'm assuming they're talking about parks, but that's also affected by the weather. So if there's bad weather, they will do events indoors. And if there's good weather, they're more likely to, peruse the local parks that are available to them or landmarks. So they said that they have landmarks, plazas, parks, sports venues, and even commercial recreation, which I think is so awesome that we have all these options right off the bat with this game.
Yeah, 100%. It's really, really cool. It's also cool that our citizens themselves can become tourists if they travel to other cities via the outside connections. That's really cool. I thought that was like a nice little detail that I thought was very interesting. And of course, the conditions that they also talked about in the video, the citizen conditions, they were a bit more detailed in the PDF. So you have sick citizens, they cannot work, and you have to be aware of your health care, pollution, sewage, everything that can cause a person to get ill. You need to be aware of that. Injured citizens, they can be injured when involved in traffic accidents or fires, I think it said in the PDF. Also, we got the homeless condition. We talked about that. Citizens can feel unwell. That means they have the low well-being. We talked about the low well-being. The happiness value is decreased as well. We have weak citizens. with a low health value. Again, health. We said this before, Joy. It's all about the citizens in this game. It's all about keeping them happy and keeping them alive, keeping their well-being up, I think. So yeah, it's a slippery slope, but that's how the game works. And there's also distressed citizens or evacuated when you play with natural disasters and you have the emergency shelters.
Oh goodness, yeah, for sure, for sure. And I think, like, just to say, I think with any game, there's so many different ways that you could play this game. And so I think, like, if you wanted to create the worst city ever, like, you could. It's a game, right? But also there's the opportunity to see, can you create the best city possible too? And can everyone be, like, extremely happy, which I think is fun. So I realize that there is fun to be had on both sides of the spectrum of the game, which I think is kind of the point. So
I agree 100%. And I think that wraps it about up for this video. Please let us know in the comments if we missed something. Let us know how you feel about this Dev Diary, if you've watched it before, or if you waited to watch it with us. And if you want to talk about this video in particular, or Cities Skylines 2 for that matter, please stop by the City of Friends Discord. It is a joint Discord that Joy and I run with 4 other amazing builders. Highly recommend. We're usually there every day and like to hang out and chat, especially about Cities Skylines. So thank you all so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and please stay safe out there. Bye-bye.